What's up everybody, and welcome to the first ever speedrun analysis on this channel. The goal that I have for these speedrun analyses is that I want these to be a more educational way of looking at already completed speedruns. Given the fact that I already finished making 4 different large tutorials, I want to have a chance to look through some popular runs from popular names out there, including world records, to take a look at how the fundamentals that I taught in my videos are being used in these speedruns. The goal of these analyses is to create an educational setting where we can truly see how speedruns are played out, the different parts, and kind of the psychology of the speedrunner in different scenarios. Since this is one of my own speedruns that I personally completed recently, I'm going to kind of explain my method of thinking in the moment, and any mistakes that I may have made if things could have been improved. So, understandably so, this is my first ever speedrun analysis that I'm doing on this channel, and we're going to try and dip our toes into it, see the formatting, see what needs to be improved, and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you learned something really meaningful from this video, this analysis, and if you enjoy this style of content, of course, I would absolutely appreciate that like and subscribe. I also just wanted to say thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers, as you can see down there, because I did recently get YouTube Partner, and that is just something that is really awesome, and I can't thank you all enough for the love and support that you've shown me. So without further ado, let's get right into the analysis. So right off the bat, before we truly get into watching the run, I kind of want to ask a simple question. If you've been watching my tutorials or just got into speedrunning Minecraft for the first time, you're probably wondering, what really is a sub 10 speedrun? How do you finish a run in under 10 minutes? Well, the real answer to that is 3 different main things. The first thing you want for a sub 10 is a really fast nether entry, typically found in buried treasure runs or rune portal seeds. You can also get it in shipwreck runs, as those involve magma portals, which generally is a pretty fast way of entering the nether. Second thing that you want for a run to be a sub 10 is usually a fast Bastion entry. The thing about ranked is that in ranked, Bastions are going to spawn usually within a reasonable distance of where you enter the nether initially. The biggest difference, however, from slow runs and fast runs are the speed at which you can get to the Bastion, and for Bastions that are close by, it's usually going to be pretty good. Second hand with this is also the fact that the fortress is near the Bastion, giving us a pretty nice streamlined way of knowing where we're going to be going after completing the Bastion. Another plus to having the fortress already visible from the Bastion is the fact that you won't have to do the slow meandering process of scanning for the fortress, which in and of itself can take a little bit of time. So, the fastest runs in Minecraft Ranked usually have the Bastion being pretty close to where you enter the nether, as well as the fortress being more or less visible at the very least. And obviously the fortress being closer makes a big difference as well. The last thing you generally want is a very fast fortress split itself. One thing that I mentioned in the tutorial series is that blazes have a 50% chance of dropping a blaze rod. So if you get all 6 of your rods just by killing around 6 or more blazes, that is going to be very beneficial for making your speedrun faster. It has actually happened before in the past where in ranked, I probably killed around 20 blazes before I got 6 rods, which is an absolute joke. So in ranked runs, if you can get all of your rods within just over 6 blazes, have a pretty fast Bastion entry and route to fort, and also had a very fast initial nether entry, these are all really good components of getting a sub 10 speedrun. So now that that question is answered, without further ado, let's get right into the speedrun analysis. And I'll pause when I think there are things that I want to iterate on. So, right off the bat, we spawn on a shipwreck seed, and one big thing about ranked in recent time, as of the latest season, the seed type that you will be playing is now shown to the player. So since I know it's a shipwreck, I'm immediately probably going to be on a beach, and we're going to open up our little pie graph to use thin, which normally could be used to find buried treasures, but in this case I'm using it to find the shipwreck. We'll go in and quickly do our fast loot of the chest, which is chest quick looting, which is something that I spoke about in the tutorial series as well. So in case you forgot how to do chest fast looting, you just open up a chest right here and keep track of what empty hotbar slots you currently have, including your offhand, which would be F by default, and you mouse over the item that you want to stack into your inventory, hold shift, and then the hotkey that you want to bring it to, left click, hotkey, left click. So if I, for example, I'm holding shift right now, press 5 on this iron bar, and then click, 5 click, then it's going to go in. So again, shift, 5 click, 5 click. Same thing with the lapis, 5 click, 5 click. And that is how you chest fast loot. And remember, you have to be holding shift the entire time. We got our food in this case, which is rotten flesh, carrots, and a suspicious stew. However, a big problem in this run already happened. I didn't realize that on this spawn island, there were no trees. Trees are obviously the first thing you need on a shipwreck seed. If you've seen the tutorial, we're supposed to get the shipwreck loot, which is the iron and food and perhaps gold, and make our way directly to the closest nearby tree. However, since I forgot that there weren't any trees on this island, there obviously has to be another island somewhere nearby that has those trees. So I realized that this island with the trees is over there, so I had to go a little bit backwards. This already more or less is a considerable small time loss in the overworld. It is what it is. Luckily, I see magma right here, so all I need to do is just hit these trees and go right into the magma ravine. I'd be punching 2 logs here, and I just want to take a moment to mention that there's something interesting with the fact that I have 3 gold here. 9 iron nuggets and 8 iron ingots. I can have a total of 9 iron, and since I have 9 iron, what I can do is make an iron pickaxe and make shears, which is very, very beneficial, and I've mentioned it before in the tutorials why shears is very important. It's going to allow us to get a lot of different blocks in the form of leaves. And instead of mining down to make myself a stone axe, which I normally would do, since you have 3 gold, you can make a gold axe here, which will chop the rest of logs very fast. You see, I quickly switch over to my shears right away to get as many leaves as I can in a short period of time. Just gonna chop a lot of logs here because you can be pretty liberal with the amount of logs you get having the gold axe. And then we'll go ahead there. As you can see, I do the rest of my crafting here. We made ourselves a wooden shovel, which is a little bit of a risky play. The reason why the wooden shovel here is risky is because it's pretty slow at punching gravel away. See, I'll try to dig gravel, and right about here, luckily, I get my flint over there. Sometimes with flint, I mean, since it's a 1 in 10 chance of being dropped from gravel, you can mine through maybe 30, 40 gravel pieces and not get your flint yet. So obviously getting that flint with my wooden shovel there is pretty, I would say, a little bit lucky. It's not bad. There is reason to make maybe a stone shovel there once I'm on the gravel. It's just a little bit of time. I decided to risk it for a biscuit, went with the wooden shovel. So we're going ahead and just going to finish up with this. Make our L magma portal in the magma ravine, and so we spawn right into the nether, and boom, immediately scanning for a bastion. I see a bastion right there, it's in this direction, and we're going. Like I mentioned, I am in the nether just under 2 minutes. If I could get to the bastion under 3 minutes, then that's pretty good. One thing I want to show is that immediately, as I know where the bastion is, I'm immediately going into my wide view with Jingle to activate that and look in my general surroundings, trying to see if I can see a fortress anywhere. Obviously, I don't see it yet, so we're going to keep going just towards the bastion. You don't see the fortress yet, just go straight to the bastion. So we navigate a little bit across this terrain, and I see that it is treasure bastion right now, and boom. Utilizing my wide view macro now, I actually saw that the fortress is right over there. So, since we know that that's that, and we're on this route for Treasure Room Bastion, we're going to begin the route on the bridge. So we make our way over to the bridge and begin from this left gold piece, just by blocking it off. We mine it, and then I very safely jump to the other one to block it off again and mine this one. From here on out, it's just doing the treasure route. We run up the staircase here, mine this block, and go all the way up. We mine that block there to let piglins go up, and then we block, place the gold block, break it, mine through the wall while distracting others, and go up to do the route. We go in here, drop the gold in, and set up our piglin trading hole. From here, we just mine out the different pieces. Mentally, at this point in the run, since it is 3 minutes, and I know where the fortress is, pretty decent chance that this could be a sub 10. I already kind of realize it. It's because we're in the Bastion before 3 minutes, and the fortress is pretty close. So there's a decent chance that we can get to be in the fortress in under 5 minutes. Something called a sub 5 fort is usually kind of this marker for getting a sub 10 run. One thing that I also want to mention is that since there are gold blocks below the top left one in treasure, seeing how all the gold blocks are in the wall, from the top left one you go straight down. You can mine straight down underneath you to get it, but what you can see that I'm doing here is mining down while staying above, so that I'll only go down to drop and grab the gold block if I see it. Since I didn't see it, I just run away. The reason why this saves a little bit of time is due to the fact that I wouldn't have to build myself up out of the hole grabbing that gold block. So once we finish trading, we run through, and we're just going to go and loot the rest of the chests in the Bastion while our piglins are trading. Quickly loot all of this. I don't even do the quick loot here because I'm a little bit shaky understanding that the pace is very good. As you can see, it's 355. Clearing out my inventory by dumping things into the chest. Unnecessary blocks. I put my pearls in, sort my inventory out, and we're doing a bit of pre-crafting here. Making myself a bed utilizing the book crafting. Making myself an iron axe to kill blazes slightly faster. And that's pretty good. Go over to the other chest here. We go ahead and do this. One thing that I'm slacking on though is making my gold carrots. As you can see, I have multiple gold carrots here. I also forgot to make myself a bow, so I had to place down my crafting bench again. I remember that the fortress was in that general direction that I'm currently looking at. So I'm trying to mine through the wall here. It's a little bit scuffed. I remember that if I went down in the treasure, it would have opened up, but it luckily opens up here in the terrain, and now here is where I make my golden carrots. A little bit late, I could have made that probably while the piglins were trading. Now I'm just purling over, doing pre-crafting of blocks as I'm purling over to the fortress. And so we're here, 5 minutes on the dot, basically being in the fortress, and these withers are a little bit annoying. So there is a pretty good justification for me skipping the stray blaze, because the only reason why I'm killing these wither skeletons is so I can get this stray blaze over here next to me. Just one single stray blaze, and I argue that it probably wasn't worth it to do this. It didn't even drop me a rod, which was kind of a waste of time. So I see a fortress spawner over there, a blaze spawner. I make a second pearl over towards that. First thing we want to do when we get to the spawner is explode a blaze bed on the spawner so we can clear area around the spawner so that more additional blazes can spawn. As you can see, since there are a couple blazes here already, just killing them with the bed potentially can make them die and drop their rods in fire. So you want to kill these remaining blazes first before doing the blaze bed. You punch away the fire because not only does space help blazes spawn, but you can also promote more blazes to spawn by clearing away fire, as low light levels can help them spawn as well. Block off a little bit of this lava just so it's not annoying a little bit later on, and we just go ahead and kill the rest of the blazes here. A couple spawn here, boom, boom. Boom, punch away that fire under it so that the rod doesn't burn. Obviously, you don't want any blaze rods that's burning. It would be absolutely horrible for that to happen. Building out my little platform with soul sand, which is very ideal since blazes move slower on soul sand, meaning that if you punch them away, they kind of get stuck on it so they don't fly out into the air around the spawner. We go ahead and just kill the blaze here. Boom. There they go. And we got 6 rods. Ah, very fancy. Nice number. So, since we got our 6 rods, we're going ahead and building our obsidian portal right away. And this, honestly, isn't a pretty crazy portal time. As you can see, it's a 650 or 653 first portal, which is okay. I've had much better in the past. So it just goes to show you how crazy it is that this is a sub 10 run. At this point, we're just doing our eye calculation. As you can see, after 1 rod, it gives me a 99.9% on 1683 distance, which isn't that close. Honestly, a lot of fortresses, I mean, strongholds can be within 500 blocks after measuring, but it just is what it is. I take note of the angle and I immediately pearl in that direction. 1 pearl, clear my inventory. See, it's a little bit more, 134 distance, throw another pearl. Do a little bit of inventory here. All in this time, I haven't pre-crafted my explosives for doing zero cycle. I mentioned in my tutorial that for zero cycle, you want to typically have a lot of beds and anchors crafted, but in this case, I don't even have them crafted yet, which is a little bit unfortunate. Ideally, you want to have them crafted by the time you finish all of your blazes, but it just is what it is. We go ahead, we build up, boom. It's entering into the stronghold now at this point. So since we're here, I see a spike of preemptive, which looks pretty good in the bottom right direction. We run straight into bottom right. And luckily, I hear the silverfish through the wall. You can actually see in the bottom right, the silverfish hisses, which is part of the subtitles that show you what you're technically hearing on your screen. Since the silverfish hisses sounded like it was a bit on my left and the arrow points towards this direction, I'm gonna go ahead and mine through and just find the portal room. I don't need to do a hunger reset because I already have gold carrots. I craft all of my bow and my anchors all here, sort my hotbar, and immediately I want to enter the end. Right now it's 8:30, so right now I am admittedly a little bit shaky in the speedrun. So just go ahead, spam all the eyes in, go right in, and throw. One thing that I forgot to do, however, is eat food. You can see that I am already a little bit low HP. And I have 2 hunger points remaining. This is a considerable mistake because doing zero cycle usually is a very time sensitive thing. You don't have that much time to eat food while doing a zero cycle. But just so it turns out, we may or may not be able to clutch this. Since it is a side setup, being a very tall tower type, I have to throw 3 pearls here. So look how low my HP gets. I already threw 1 pearl, so I'm down 3.5 hearts. I'm gonna go down to being at 4 hearts, and then after 1 more pearl up here, boom, I am at 1.5 hearts. It's pretty risky, so I have to find a way to set up the zero cycle and eat that gold carrot very quickly so that I don't die. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Boom, 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 doing the side setup here. I'm not doing it in a safe way, so I drop it. I take another heart of half a heart of damage. I'm at 1 HP. Okay, 1 HP. Very scary, but since I know that the dragon is still that high up, it's going to do 1 more round rotation before it reaches the bed. So in that case, I can go ahead and eat my gold carrot. Then we set up a double bed for the first one. It's counterclockwise, so it starts on the left. 1 explosion here. A double bed on this one. Boom. Oh, and the dragon's 1! The dragon's 1 HP. It's crazy, everybody. I actually hesitate here, and I didn't place a bed where I should have. So the dragon's very low right now. Could have broke this bed. But luckily, we do a super early bed explosion just to get that last little bit of damage. And we pop off. So all things considered, it was a pretty decent sub-10 run. The seed itself was a little bit rough. However, we managed to clutch it out. There were a couple mistakes this run, in me not properly crafting gold carrots while waiting for trades, not pre-crafting my beds and anchors while I'm waiting for the blazes to spawn in the fortress, and also kind of messing up my routing in the overworld because I didn't realize that the trees were actually on another island. So after looting my shipwreck, I actually went up out of the water and I looked towards my initial spawn island, but not going towards the actual island with trees. That was a little bit of a mistake. So, just going back to what I initially was kind of talking about a little bit before, a sub-10 speedrun, the components of it usually are a fast nether entry, a fast bastion entry and bastion split, and a pretty good fortress that you enter under 5 minutes usually. Once the blazes give you good rates, and you get 6 rods after maybe killing around 6 to 9 or 6 or 7 blazes around there, then you can make your first portal and do all of the process for calculating pretty well. One other thing that I want to mention is very good here is that when I did my eye calculation, I threw my one eye and it didn't break. So you can see that my eye didn't break here, so I managed to pick it up and have 12 eyes right away. If it broke, then I would have had to fight and kill another blaze to get my 7th rod. Remember, 6 to 7 blaze rods is the magic number, everybody. Always got to remember that. All things considered, we managed to clutch it out with a pretty decent Stronghold navigation on top of all of those things, which is very, very beneficial. So, just want to say thank you everybody for watching. It's been a chill little analysis, just talking about how this run happened. I do also want to take a look at some other speedruns that are quite popular in the scene that have been done by small and larger streamers, if you catch my drift. So, just want to say thank you everybody for watching. Happy New Year again, even though it's a little bit late. And take care of yourselves. And until the next video, peace, peace.